I've played a few Middle-earth games before on previous consoles, most of these tied in with the amazing Lord of the Rings film trilogy, and, as with most movie-to-game tie-ins, the games were decidedly average, not bad, but just not good. So, with Shadow of Mordor being a stand-apart title, will this help it fare any better? Fortunately, I'm happy to report that it does indeed. Rather than being an average button-mashing hack-and-slasher, Shadow of Mordor takes the same tack as the Batman Arkham series. Specific foes deliver varying attacks that can stagger and quickly kill our hero Tyrion. This forces a more rhythmic style of combat, as you quickly adapt to these variations by correctly anticipating and pressing the highlighted button to counter, dodge, or dispatch your foe. And there are plenty of foes to deal with. The Uruks, basically evolved orcs, are found all over Mordor, where the story obviously takes place, as the title suggests, but we'll get back to that shortly. Mordor itself is wonderfully realised, a large desolate marsh with mountainous peaks, shadowy crags and dry plains, and whilst this leads to some rather bleak brown settings, Shadow of Mordor does stand out graphically as a next-gen title, with some harsh but gorgeous scenery and some scarily amazing character detail.
They all perished in battle, my lord. All except me, War Chief Ratbag.
Stealth play is the main staple of exploring Sauron's domain. But that's not to say that full-on aggression, some sharp bowmanship, and husbandry of beasts can't be applied. In fact, it's needed frequently, especially when entering an orc stronghold which can be found throughout the land. What I thought was going to be a bit of a downer was the QuickTime event, but even these have to be applied with some accuracy and care, and the more times you enter into an event, the trickier it gets. The orchestral music, clashing sound effects, and especially the vocal work all add to the atmosphere fantastically.
I'm going to go kill him!
Oh, good plan! I'll be right behind you.
From the delicate whispered story updates during the loading screens to full-on insults hurled at you from orc captains. And then there's a raging guttural musical chants of a war chief's name as you enter combat with him. Some of this is deliciously amusing, but the overall effect never detracts from the myth of Middle-earth. Speaking of captains and war chiefs, brings us to the coveted Nemesis system. When you manage to grab and then interrogate an orc, he'll squeal out information of an orc of your choosing from the hierarchy of Sauron's army. This provides valuable information of the chosen orc's strengths and weaknesses, and it's these weaknesses you must exploit if you want to succeed in some tricky combat situations. The Nemesis system also shows power struggles within the hierarchy, as the orc captains are constantly biting, clawing and stabbing their way to the top. They will eventually gain power for each successful kill of Tyrion, and they remember this when you eventually encounter them again, normally with a fresh insult at the ready. They'll also gain power during struggles with each other, in duels, executions or successful hunts. And it's within these struggles that you can cause disruption and chaos, with a possible outcome of killing more than one captain. It's here that Shadow of Mordor can get tough. Get caught off guard and you'll find yourself outnumbered and in serious harm's way. Retreat becomes a truly viable tactic. You'll find that Shadow of Mordor is a brutal game, but hunt down some of the many side missions to upgrade your sword, bow and dagger, and you can start to deliver some of that brutality back at your enemies. All the staple upgrades and perks can be unlocked or bought, and you'll soon be the scourge of the Uruks, stalking them, terrorising them and brutalising them, normally sending nearby orcs into cowering, blubbering, fleeing wrecks.
What was that noise?
For you must understand, Tyrion is cursed, and this curse has embedded an elf spirit to him in a mystifying symbiotic relationship, one that offers him horrific ancient powers and an undying life. It's here the aforementioned story lies. Who is this mysterious elf spectre, and why does his doom lie parallel with yours? It is a well-realised story that is set between the events of The Hobbit and leads up to The Lord of the Rings, but stay tuned until the end of the upload if you're a massively critical fan. All in all, Shadow of Mordor is a great example of a game. Sure, it feels like a Batman clone, but that's no bad thing. Good graphics, nice AI, fantastic combat with side missions aplenty, atmospheric sound and conversation lead to a great Middle-earth game. And all this wrapped up by that unique Nemesis system. Shadow of Mordor deserves a solid 8 out of 10 unless you're a fan of Tolkien's vision. Spoiler alert folks, this is for those who know the story of Tolkien's Silmarillion and feel this game seeps out of canon. Okay? Still here? Fine. Familiar characters do make an appearance throughout the game, and I too was worried that Warner Brothers and Monolith would go off canon from Tolkien's original legacy. But my fears were put to rest. I could tell that delicate care and research has been lovingly crafted into the game from the original source lore. Those who have read the Silmarillion probably remember who Celebrimbor is, and know how Sauron the Fair lied and deceived the elves and all the Sindar, and it's here that Shadow of Mordor's history is based. It's a well-crafted and thoughtful story, derived from the original myth, and it took me pleasantly by surprise, reliving some historic moments through memories and artifacts. So if you're a fan of Tolkien's masterpiece, add a point to my score. An epic 9 out of 10 for an epic game. Thanks for watching folks, please like and share this review, and as usual, Wolfoid, signing out.